Some friendships in boarding school start with laughter and sometimes end in silence that is so loud. When Miriam, Shade, and Lola first met in JS1, it was over a broken locker. Shade had slammed hers too hard and it crashed onto Lola's foot. Lola screamed, hopping around the dusty corridor. Miriam, who is known to be the peacemaker, rushed to help. By lights out that night, they were sitting on the same bunk bed in their dormitory, sharing gala and chin-chin like they had known each other forever. By the end of first term, their friend group became the most popular. They shared the same table at the dining hall, stood in the same lines at the school assembly, and were always together. By SS1, the difference between them became harder to ignore. Miriam was the clever one. Her head was always buried in thick textbooks. Teachers loved her. Lola was the happening babe. She's loud, stylish, and somehow always involved in school activities. Shade was the beauty and the planner, the one who always had an idea, a scheme, a way to make things fun. They were different, but it worked until it didn't. It began the day the prefect list was announced. Everyone thought Shade would become the social prefect. She was popular, lively, always organizing hostel parties in secret. She knew it was her. Even Lola and Miriam had congratulated her in advance. But when the list came out, it wasn't Shade's name that was on the notice board. It was Lola's. The common room exploded with cheers. Girls were lifting Lola into the air, chanting her name. Shade smiled, too wide, too fake, and clapped until her palms burned. That night, Shade lay on her bunk, staring at the ceiling, wondering how she, the planner, the organizer, had been overlooked for loud, careless Lola. She hated the ugly thought coiling in her chest. She pushed it away. This was Lola's moment. She should be happy for her, right? The cracks deepened when Miriam got picked for a national essay competition, a competition Shade had told her about in the first place. Congrats, babe, Shade said tightly, hugging Miriam after prep. But as Miriam beamed, Shade caught the sadness flashing behind her eyes. Or maybe she imagined it. Maybe. In the days that followed, little things began to happen. Shade started avoiding Miriam and Lola. She started keeping to herself. And then the worst happened. At inter-house sports, Shade overheard Miriam and Lola talking behind the stands. She hadn't meant to eavesdrop. She was just passing by when she heard her name. I swear, if Shade says one more thing about her perfect plans, I'll scream. Lola laughed. She acts like she's everybody's mother, Miriam said, snorting, always controlling everything. Shade stood frozen, her chest pounding. She walked away before she could hear more, but the words stuck like thorns in her chest. The final blow came during visiting day. Parents filled the school compound with food baskets and new supplies for their stewards. Shade's mother couldn't come because she was sick and her father was on a business trip. So she sat alone under the mango tree, picking at her chin-chin and reading a novel she borrowed from their school library. She saw them from a distance, Lola and Miriam, sitting on Lola's mat, laughing, eating suya and ice cream, and sharing the gifts their parents got them. Shade wasn't invited. Neither of them even waved at her to join them. Later that night, in the privacy of the dormitory, Shade exploded. So I'm just someone invisible to you people now, Abi? I'm only useful when you need plans and ideas. She questioned, her voice trembling. Miriam blinked. Ah, Shade, what's the meaning of this one now? Please don't start this night, abeg. Lola rolled her eyes. You are so dramatic. Not everything is about you. Shade felt so hurt by their response, so she grabbed her pillow and left. Nobody stopped Shade when she grabbed her pillow and marched to another bunk. Nobody even called her back. But the real war began after that night. At first, it was petty things, like someone accidentally taking Shade's ironed uniforms from the laundry line, leaving her with crumpled ones. Her name mysteriously disappeared from the sign-up list for social night performance. The kitchen ladies suddenly stopped giving her extra scoop of meals during dining. Shade wasn't stupid. She knew Miriam and Lola had started a silent campaign against her. She fought back in small ways. She wrote Lola's name anonymously in the noisemaker's book during prep. Lola got punished and had to cut grasses under the hot sun. She deliberately forgot to pass Miriam's assignment when teachers called for submissions, making Miriam lose marks. In the classrooms, the dormitories, even the dining hall, the whole school became divided. Two clear camps, those loyal to Miriam and Lola, and those loyal to Shade. Tension buzzed in the air like harmattan dust. It all came to a head during Cultural Day. Lola was leading Yellow House drama presentation, a big deal because prizes and school prestige were at stake. She had been rehearsing for weeks, bragging that they would win best performance. The night before the event, someone snuck into the costume room and poured water over the carefully pressed costumes. Someone also hid important props under the biology lab shelves. On the day of the performance, Yellow House scrambled to fix the disaster. The play was a mess. Lola's group forgot their lines. Costumes were wrinkled and mismatched. The judges frowned throughout the entire performance. They didn't win. Lola was humiliated. Some said it was Shade. Some said it was a random prank. But Lola knew. She knew it was Shade. She could feel it in the tight, cold smile Shade gave her across the hall. Miriam wasn't left out either. At the end of the term, she submitted an important literature project she had worked on for weeks, only for it to mysteriously go missing from the staff room. When she asked the teacher, he simply said, "I never saw it." Miriam failed the assignment. Rumors spread that someone bitter and angry, had quietly moved her file to the trash pile behind the staff room. Miriam cried under her blanket that night, not just because of the failed project, but because she realized how ugly things had gotten between them. By the final term of SS2, Shade, Miriam and Lola had become strangers. The rumors grew louder. Some girls swore they saw Shade tearing up Miriam's notebooks one evening after prep. Others said Miriam and Lola had once poured Gary inside Shade's shoes before morning devotion. Someone even claimed that during night prep, Shade cursed Lola's name and Lola started falling sick afterwards, her throat going sore for a whole week. Girls whispered in groups, eyes darting around, feeding off the tension like vultures. The Unbreakable Three? More like the Untouchable Three now. I heard they used to do juju together, and now it has backfired. Don't sit near their old bunko. Bad luck is hanging there. Their friendship, that was once the envy of everyone, had turned into an ugly scandal. By the time they entered SS3, things got uglier. During mock exams, Lola's name somehow appeared on the Code of Misconduct board for talking during exams. She swore she hadn't said a word, but the damage was done. Her chances at becoming senior prefect vanished. Miriam's locker was broken into before WAEC, and her textbooks that she carefully annotated, that was filled with notes from JS1, got soaked with water. She accused Shade immediately, screaming in front of the whole dormitory, but Shade just raised her eyebrows, cool and unbothered, as if she was daring her to prove that she was responsible for the damage. Meanwhile, Shade got caught with a contraband phone right before final exams. No one ever found out who tipped off the hostel mistress, but Shade had her suspicions, and every time she caught Miriam and Lola whispering and glancing at her across the hall, those suspicions feels more solid. Graduation day came like a badly written ending to a play everyone wanted to forget. Students rushed around, taking pictures, signing shirts, hugging, crying over goodbyes. Girls who had barely spoken for years forgave each other in emotional outbursts, but not Sade, not Miriam, and definitely not Lola. They stayed on opposite ends of the school field, smiling in photos with everyone else while pretending the other two didn't exist. No final words, no apologies, no memories shared, only the heavy, aching silence between three girls who had once promised to be there for each other forever and ended up with nothing. They left Ridgeway Girls Boarding School with certificates in their hands and invisible scars in their hearts. And just like that, the Unbreakable Three broke completely without ever speaking again.